I'm reviewing the Android um, tablet 1G 512 megahertz tablet double DIN unit with a removable tablet. I purchased this from Pumpkin Cool from Hong Kong. I paid about $450 for it. I just had it installed, and that cost me $800 plus. Um, One of the reasons I'm doing this is because there's so many issues with it. I had to document them for the buyer. I'm sorry, for the seller, so that he could see that I wasn't blowing smoke. Anyhow, I'm going to go through a couple of things. First of all, the unit, the tablet connects to the head unit with a little clip or something in the back, and that is a problem in itself. When you're removing it, you have to hit this. You just push down and it should pop off, which it does. And then behind it, you have the head unit, and you can still hear music when you take it off. As you can see, this is a tablet that it's self-contained. Um, it has mini HDMI and two USB ports, and it has a micro SD chip with a 3.5 headphone port. One thing about this USB, it's USB 1.1 for transferring data. The other USB port doesn't transfer anything. It's 2.0, but it can only read a external USB um, uh, card. You know, it doesn't read hard drives or any other device. You can't hook it up to your computer and transfer data to it. Okay, so first thing I want to show you is that this connection here is a pain because you slide it in and it's supposed to click in, but it doesn't. As you can see, it's it's loose, and you kind of have to throw the dice for it to connect. And it's not connecting, and you have to have it connect, obviously, because when you're driving, you don't want this, bobbling around. You pay $500, you'd expect this to lock into place. Okay, there it is. Okay, now I want to get out of here. First thing I want to show you. Okay, now this is as you can see, and I'm not going to go through the features of this because this video isn't about the features of the radio. I'm just going through the problems that this has. Um, Again, the first issue was clipping this on here and securing it. When you're going down the road, it'll come undone and just bounce all over the place, or it may not bounce, but it will disconnect. And if you're listening to the radio, it'll just disconnect it. Um, the when I was getting this installed, my regular unit was is a CAN bus, which this is not compatible with CAN bus. So that means that you cannot have steering controls. So I just lost all my steering controls on my Sky 2007 Redline. And one of the cool things about it is having your volume control and stuff on there, but you lose that, and you can't. There's no adapter for it. Also, if you have OnStar, it's going to cost you over $400 just for the adapters for it to retain OnStar. As to my XM radio that I had on my stock radio, which was a Monsoon 6 disc in-dash, you lose that capability of XM radio. Also, there's no HD radio on this. You just have regular um, uh, FM stations and AM. First problem or second problem actually, was the radio. Okay, so I go to the radio and just click here, and it's an AM station, and as you can see, I can turn the volume up so you can hear the fuzz, that there are no stations at all. Now, I took this back immediately to the installer, and he took it apart, and he told me that, you know, that's hooked up to the antenna. There's no issues. The previous radio I had was hooked up to the antenna, and it worked fine, which is the factory unit. Let's go to FM. You get barely a signal there, and as you can see, there's no channels, nothing. It's just loud noise, nothing here. Okay, one of my favorite channels here in sunny Southern California is a jazz station called 94.7, and I get that all the time out here in my other car and with the other radio. But as you can see, it picks up no channels at all, nothing. Even in AM, you know, which there's a tower right down the street with the station, it should pick up that. You know, but it doesn't. So that's one of the major issues. Also, another issue is okay. Well, let me go back now. To adjust your setup, there's a setup in here that you can set up your region, and the region for your radio you have to kind of set, because if you're in the USA, you have different selections. You have USA 1, and then you have USA 2. And you can select that. And we can go back here, radio, and again, there's nothing. So that isn't helpful. We can go to AM, and as you can see, there's nothing. Okay, so now we know that in that region there's nothing. For USA 2, USA 1 we already did. Obviously Japan isn't going to work. I even tried Russia just to see, and it didn't work. So the radio doesn't work. Also, we'll go back here to go back into the pad now. One of the other problems we're having was illumination of lights right along this bezel here. I don't know if you can see my hand there. Is a bezel, and it has your pad, your volume controls, and mute, and your telephone, and it just these don't light up. When I turn the key on, they should light up. When I turn the lights on, when I turn the lights on over here, it should do something, and it's not doing anything. I checked again with my installer, and my installer said he hooked up everything, and again, it's just not on. In the back, to take this off, in the back there's lights right here, but when you can choose a different light color. You can choose blue or red, and this is supposed to all highlight in here, and the bezel down here is supposed to light up. but as you can see, it's not lit up. And I can show you this here. See, we go back to the same thing. You know, you shouldn't have to mess with this for $500. You know, shit. Patience. Okay, I just don't know. It's not going in. It's probably done. Okay, now it's not going in at all. Okay, well, I can't. It's not locking in. So that's probably, you know, one of the biggest issues. Anyway, so it can't lock in. So it can't lock in. Well, anyway, we can go back here, and it will not go back to that because it's not locked in. See, it has to be locked in for it to get that go back to the head unit. Come on, you piece of... What the heck? See, there's a little wire or a little thing in here. I don't know what the deal is with it, but it's not working. Okay. So, you know, you'd be late for work trying to get this thing. Okay, where was I? So, you can't, you know, it's hard to show you. I can push this down, and then I will show you the setting. Shit. Okay. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna try to fix this. I don't know what it... Is this thing broken or... Okay, there. Okay, it's in now. Okay. Okay, now we go into settings, and then we can go into LED, and see you can change the setting for LED in here, and see there's no lights. Okay, another issue is the clock resets back to 12 o'clock every time you go in here, and as you can see, it's the day is the 3rd. Today is actually, I think, the 8th, if I'm not mistaken. So every time you go in here, you have to reset the time. Another issue with this is when you turn the music on, it over modulates. It doesn't sound like it has crossovers. It's just this ridiculous. I mean, you go from one volume push to, and you just add 2 more pushes, and you're like at a distorted level. And this, I have an amp and subwoofer, and these actually are very, very clear, and it shouldn't sound like that. Let's see. Another issue is with the screen. If you look at your one way to just compare is look at your cell phone screen versus this, and it's like night and day. As a matter of fact, when you're in the daytime, when you're in the the sun, you cannot see the screen at all. Um, so that's really a hindrance. And I have a convertible, and I'm driving along. I can't use GPS because I can't see anything. Um, let's see. Also, when you're playing from the SD card, playing music from the SD card, the SD card will disconnect and go back to the radio. Um, let's see. Also, this head unit and the tablet gets very, very hot. I mean, it gets so hot, you want to throw some water on it. It's just you can't think that an electronic device can stay that hot and still work. At some point, it's gonna melt. Um, so those are the concerns that I have with this. After spending $800 at an installer, I'm going to actually spend some more money to have it taken out and sent back. Yeah, it's a good concept. It's a great thing to have. I mean, it's having a tablet you can pop out and go use it and connect. When you're at home and go on the internet and play games with it. While you're sitting in the car and you can take it out. That's a really great idea. But this unit just needs a lot more, um, you know, uh, a lot more thought into the electronics behind it. So that's my review of this. Thank you very much.